Hello, hello, hello. I want to talk about psychology, but I first want to say to everyone out there, please make sure that your animals and children have a controlled climate, that your animals and children don't get overheated, that they don't suffer from a heat stroke. Okay, I have seen petitions now the other day. Lady Freethinker and other people, where cases are happening now in the United States where dogs are dying from heat stroke. They just, the system shuts down. Horrific. Two pit bull type of dogs, I saw the photo, absolutely horrific. They had fallen over to the side with the mouth open and they looked like they were in absolute agony, in absolute torment from the heat. And horrific cases, I don't even want to talk about all of those cases. They are so horrific, the cases that I have already seen. So right now we're having a heat wave, and it's really bothering me. I'm thinking about the animals all the time. The fjord horse is obviously from a very cold region like Norway, I believe they're from, or Finland, and the fjord horse out there is suffering. He has like a half barn to go into, but he is so overheated. He didn't even want to eat the food that Paul brought. He's so overheated. He needs to have a sprinkler. He needs someone to shower him with cold water, with a garden hose. He needs to have the sprinkler on the roof of a barn. If you have a barn for your animals, install a sprinkler on the roof. That will bring the temperature way down inside of the barn. Okay, it does the same with the house. Okay, we've done that several times. Paul has installed sprinklers on the roof, and it brought down the temperature by up to 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's like a swamp type of cooling system that works really, really well and is earth friendly. So I highly recommend to people to do this. Really make sure that your animals stay cool and comfortable. Okay, your dogs, very, very important not to leave your dogs outside where they can't even find refuge under trees, or make sure that your animals have water to drink, fresh water to drink at all times. Very, very important. Very important. So I have been upstairs today. Even though it was very, very hot upstairs, obviously it gets much hotter upstairs, but that's where my studio is, and I've been working on my artwork, on my art projects all day long. And in between, I was out there by the kiddie pool, and I sat there and I had my feet in the water, particularly my right ankle. My right ankle is still swollen from twisting my foot out in the high desert, and because I wasn't mindful, my mind was overloaded with other stuff. I wasn't mindful where I was stepping. I was stepping into a puddle, twisted my ankle really badly, and that same ankle that I had twisted it when I was 24 when I fell off the horse, and the dog was Great Dane from my grandfather was chasing the horse, and horse buckled me down. I fell into a ditch, and I twisted that same ankle, and so I hope that this isn't some kind of permanent damage now, because this has been long over months, and it should have been already gone down, the swelling, but swelling's still there. It doesn't hurt or anything. I walk very carefully, but it feels kind of loose. It feels almost like one of the fibularis outer bands had torn, and I don't know if they find each other again. The loose ends, they're supposed to find each other and weave each other back together. So I'm gonna do a foot massage here. I have a specific roller, like a wood roller, which is very nice to do foot massage. But the kiddie pool water, it's just well water, and right above the kiddie pool are spruce branches, and spruce pine cones fall into the kiddie pool, and needles all the time, and sometimes branches fall into it, and sometimes I put extra Christmas tree branches into it as well, and that creates a tea in there. When the sun shines into it, heats up the water, and all that nice stuff's in there that creates a really nice Christmas and spruce tea. And so I soak my foot in that, and it feels really good. And it feels really good when those spruce and grand fir needles brush against the side of my ankle where it's swollen, and it tickles it, and it helps it to heal. So I might have to put sodium bentonite clay on it every day, and I'm sure it will heal then fully. So I haven't been doing that. So I have been taking that way for granted. So, but I'm gonna, tonight before I go to bed, I'm gonna put hydrated sodium bentonite clay onto my ankle, and I'm gonna do that every night before I go to sleep. And then also I have an injury there on my finger. It's hard to see this, but Paul made me cut some grass with the clippers over on a bluff by the ocean, and I didn't want to do this, and I didn't listen to my instinct. When I really don't want to do something, I need to listen to that, so to that inner voice. And I didn't. I let him pressure me into going out there. He always uses his self-pity, and he uses guilt a lot. That's how he pressures me into things, and I shouldn't. When that happens, I should stay very strong and say no. I don't. I said no. You need to respect that no, and that's very hard for him to respect a no. That he's always pushing against boundaries, trying to push over the boundaries with disrespecting someone's request. So when someone says no, so happens in the world a lot, and it happens out of unconsciousness. It happens out of not being attuned to the other person, and that happens because their brains are full of their own mental stuff, mental issues. So I went out there anyway. I ignored my instinct, and then I'm making a video right now, but I'm not getting you on the camera. So, and then I grabbed the grass, and I touched into a spiky thing that was growing there, and the needle, one of the needles, white needles from that spiky thing, got embedded into my finger, and that was already like 3 weeks ago, and this thorn is still embedded in there. So I'm gonna have to put sodium bentonite clay hydrated on this tonight, and then it's right there. Right there, you can see it. There's a thorn in there, and I'm gonna put a band-aid over it, and then that way it can cure itself overnight. And I'm gonna do that every day, every night before I go to bed until it's healed. And I'm sure I already put some sodium bentonite clay, but I didn't put a band-aid over it, so it rubbed off way too soon. But even that little bit of sodium bentonite clay that I had on earlier already brought the needle up to the surface, which was way down before. It's interesting, the sodium bentonite clay is an intelligent substance. It actually vacuums up stuff. It vacuums up glass. It vacuums up bee needles from bee stings or wasps. So it vacuums up nettle needles or whatever this was, some kind of thistle or something with some vicious needles. So, and they sting like fire. So I'm gonna put that on, and I'm sure it's gonna heal it. I'm certain of that. So yeah, that's how I deal with anything, any kind of injury, whatever that may be. It could be warts. Yeah, I have some warts here. I'm gonna put sodium bentonite clay on overnight. And or the papa had tumors. He had really bad tumors in each ear. He had one like thick tumors, and felt like hardened, and that's not a good sign, so that can be something more. I don't want to say the word. So I put hydrated sodium bentonite clay on his tumors, on all of his tumors, on the body too, and it all healed up. It's really amazing. That clay stuff is amazing, intelligent stuff. Okay, sodium bentonite. There's also a calcium bentonite. There is a deposit out there by Death Valley, and Dr. Richard Scholes gets his calcium bentonite from there, and that soaks stuff up too. That is also very effective for like internal poisoning, So I took that when I had overdosed once in 2013 on PRS. So that may have saved my life. That may have saved me from a cardiac arrest. Dr. Schultz's intestinal formula number 2, which has calcium bentonite clay in it, and charcoal and other stuff, good stuff. So, but the sodium bentonite clay, that expands way thicker than the calcium bentonite clay, and it has way more drawing capacity. It's way more of adhesion or adsorption and absorption capacities. So this is very interesting what it does, the molecular structure of that. For some reason, the sodium in this molecular structure helps it. I just 444. Thank you, Blue God. So those are I'm always looking, I usually not looking at the number, but sometimes I look at the number and there is the 3 digit. It's really, really amazing. So that means we're on the right track. Okay, holistic healing is the way to do it. Okay, for sure. And put a sprinkler system on the roof, and use sodium bentonite clay for anything, any kind of problem that occurs, internally or externally. Very, very important. But I also wanted to talk about a little bit about psychology before the sun goes completely down. I see pink and purple in the sky, and like a hazy blue, and there's a warm wind right now. It feels really nice. And I have vanilla bean artificial perfume oil. I wish you could smell it. It smells so yummy. So good. So I've been, as I was doing my artwork today upstairs, I was thinking about the Ice King again, and you know who that is, and although I know the psychological cause and effect that's behind it, and his suffering and his narcissistic repair system and all of that, it still made me infinitely sad. And as I was painting, my tears were just running down silently for a very long time, like really like rivers. And I knew that's the association to the Ice Queen, which is my mother. The feeling is, Mommy, please love me. And I don't want to be in a struggle with anyone anymore. I have quit being a struggle with the Ice Queen. It was a major step for me to make in my life. Hugely important for my psychological healing. Okay. But I still come in contact with Ice Kings, and the reason why I don't completely, immediately walk away and say, thank you, I'm not interested, okay, which I should be doing, but I'm energetically still, obviously, that little child, this helpless little girl, who needs love, who needs the mommy to love her unconditionally. So, and that wants to repeat itself. It always has this tendency, this draw to repeat itself. So I see there's the ultimate Ice King. Let me get into the same struggle again. It's the same type of hoping, the same type of, maybe this time mommy is gonna love me in form of this Ice King or something. That's the mechanism that's going on. So that's my inwardness process. Okay, I don't want anything from him. I'm not gonna elicit anything from him. I leave him where he's at. Okay, I offer love as a friend, as the friend of all beings. okay? And that's all I can do with my videos, you know. I offer love as a friend, you know. I offer insights, I offer holistic healing advice, okay, for everyone. Because I care about all of you. I love you all. I love the Iceman as the living being that he is. You know, there's an inner child inside, and he suffers. Okay, and I wish I could help. But I'm not struggling. I'm not trying to elicit something. You know, so that's my that is part of my healing. You know, that's part of my that is the accomplishment of my healing process that I have already done. That I don't struggle anymore with anyone. Not gonna try to elicit something. Solicit something from anyone. With whatever means, you know, people do. People sometimes they use blackmailing, they use extortion, they use threats of whatever. You know. I don't do it anymore. I might say, this is what it is, this is how I feel, okay? Dear one, I suffer, you know. Help me heal. Help me heal by doing your own inwardness process, okay? But I'm not going to elicit something from him. So I'm doing my own inwardness process. Whatever other people do, you know, this is my inwardness process. And whether Paul accepts that, understands that, or rejects this inwardness process altogether, which he does, that's not my problem. Okay, I tend to get mad, but then I catch myself, you know, so because I feel violated by him for rejecting the inwardness process, but that's his own problem, that's his own stuff, okay, that he deals with. So I don't know if this helps to make it brighter. Probably not. Trying to get more light in here. No, I'm not sure. So, well, it's getting dark outside now. So, but yeah, that's all I can do is that inwardness meditation process. I can work on myself. I feel it. I don't run away from it. I feel it. And I'm not going to struggle or act out with other people anymore. This is my process. This is my work that I do on myself. That's an ongoing work. It's an ongoing process. As long as I live. And the more I do it, the more I heal. Okay, I've already made humongous steps forward. Humongous. My parents or Paul, they can't understand. They don't see it. They don't follow with this. They don't see what humongous progress I have made with this inwardness meditation process, with this work on myself. So, but I see it, and that's all that matters. That's that I see it, and that gives me the reassurance that I know for sure, I know for 100% certain that I'm moving forward with this, okay? That every day I'm walking forward with this process, and that's amazing and super. And we should embrace everyone who triggers us with this, and everyone who is not, who doesn't want us to hurt, you know. I don't think he wants me to be hurting. So, but it doesn't matter what he wants or not wants. What matters is that I take a trigger and I sit in silence with that trigger and I feel it all the way through. Okay. And that's the way to go. That's the way to do it. Never act out on other people. Never retaliate. We need to end the entire penalty system. Penalty, the word penalty. So all of these, all of these words that come from penalty, penal system. So sounds like penis. So that needs to end. This the penalty. So the retaliation process, all of that needs to end. Okay, everyone needs to go into themselves, and we need to convert prisons into cluster B centers where these people get the right healing treatment, holistic healing treatment, and where they get the therapy of inwardness meditation. Okay, so a therapy that goes in that direction is the Vipassana meditation by S.N. Goenka, which had already been applied in prisons in India and in the United States with much success. So it works, okay? So, and that's the Vipassana meditation. It's very, very good. But we need a more westernized approach that meets people actually where they are, okay? Not with a Sanskrit chant, but with complete silence and with someone who helps them through it. With a real therapist who helps these people through it, who says, don't get scared now if anger comes up. Don't get scared now if your ice queen mother comes up or whatever. So sit through it. I'm here for you. You don't have to get up and find the person who wronged you. Okay, so that's the wrong approach. Okay, it really is. That's why they're in the prison in the first place, because of that wrong approach. So, and then they get even more of the same system from the government itself, from those prison guards and from the judicial system, which is completely wrong. Okay, so much needs to be reformed, but the process starts within you, within myself, within every single person. Okay, every single person has to take that inwardness approach. No more letting out on others. No more letting out on animals or humans. You go into your own mind, you sit through it. You sit through how that feels. Don't get scared, don't retaliate. Okay. Feel through it. That's the process. You're helping the whole world if you do this, okay? You guys take care. Bye-bye.